you're coming to Shenkeng Road, most of the Stinky Tofu action, I would say, takes place right at the beginning of the street. Then it gets a little less stinky. It smells like you're deep in the Stinky Tofu dungeon right here. It's just the smells just keep coming and going all the time. So, and that's because they have the Stinky Tofu kitchen right here. They're cooking it right here. So I think that the smell comes off mainly when they're cooking it.
The stinkiness, I'm seriously gonna pass out. God.
Basically, that what Robin said. So it's like between a garbage bag that's been sitting around fermenting for a couple of days. I hate to see that eating at the table, but it literally smells like poop. Like it just, you know, and not the good kind, the bad kind, if you know what I mean. So it's kind of like that, a little bit like sewage waste as well. You can add that in there. It's a mix of all those things. I gotta stop talking about that because it's not polite to talk about it at a table, of course, even if it smells like that, because it is food at the end of the day. Now, the thing is, the people here, they play off the stinkiness quite well because, you know, they're all the names, they're all competing on who can be the stinkiest, the king of stink. So, you know, the locals, they're quite okay with that. And, you know, they have a fun kind of like sense of humor about it. All right, so our Stinky Tofu has arrived. Here it is. Right off the bat, this tofu right here, this particular variation just has a much more pungent, much stronger, much more powerful smell than the last one. Just up close and personal. I don't know if it's the broth or the tofu, but it kind of smells like offals. Oh yeah, and the broth, it's like a stinky socks broth. And we have different variations of tofu right here. So we have the ultra soft tofu, and we also have like the tofu skin, the kind of crispier tofu on the outside. And we also have, I believe it's pork with some edamames on top, and I believe some onions, perhaps some chunks of mushrooms in there as well. Let's do this. This is the whoa. Whoa. As I was about to bite into it, I just got a whiff. That kind of made me second guess my decision there. Let's do it. Wow. For a minute, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to keep that down. Wow. That is the real deal. It tastes like a rotten cheese, really. That's what it tastes like a rotten blue cheese. Like, you know that blue cheese? It kind of has that slightly rotten taste, or, you know, kind of like fungusy aspect to it. Well, this tastes like that, but rotten. Whoa. And it has quite the aftertaste as well. It's the gift that just keeps on giving. That stinky socks broth, oh my god. I think it'd be easier to eat without that broth at the bottom. And you see these huge chunks, you definitely have to cut up the stinky tofu in smaller chunks, because if you take a chunk like that, I honestly don't know how you can keep that down if you're uninitiated like I am. And I gotta say, the texture, just a little cheesier, a little creamier but chewier at the same time, a little dense, kind of like a cheese. And that just makes it a little harder to get down and to keep down. Next up, we got this nice tofu skin right here. Smell it? Oh, this smells a little nicer. It smells like something like beans. It smells a little nicer than the other one. Let's try it out. All right, that's good. I was scared, but that is definitely not as bad as the first one. I'm not sure if I would say it's good, but it's not bad. It tastes kind of like the filling inside of a cheese pastry, kind of. It's kind of cheesy, it's crunchy. It doesn't reek of that kind of like stinky socks broth or whatever it is. I guess the first one just absorbed more of it, or maybe it's just that much stinkier. Gosh, I don't even know. That's easy to keep down. That is just like pure fat. Oh man, with the stinky tofu, that is not a good mixture. Oh my god. The fatty kind of like pork mixture at the top honestly doesn't really help matters. It just makes it that much slimier, that much greasier, and that much more prone to making you gag, I would say. Try it?
I am now gonna try this. Ew, why does the fly bug me? One star rating. Not that great.
Not that great.
It tasted like a stinky as sock fart.
Would you eat it again?
No.
Ever?
No.
So there you go, 7-year-old, soon to be 8, tastes stinky tofu. That is the real deal. That you're a trooper. High five. Because that's the real deal. I honestly could barely do it myself. So you're a real trooper. Alright, so this last place is the real deal, the real stink bomb, the king of stink right here, whatever you want to call it. This was the real deal. I highly recommend it. It's quite the experience. I mean, you know, if you like stinky stuff, if you like to test your limits to see how gross you can go, this place right here is where you got to do it. And this is what you got to try. The tofu, the stinky tofu with that. It looks like pork and pork fat. And, you know, they make something that's already pretty gross, even grosser by, I guess that's a word, by adding all of that fat inside. So, highly recommend it for those that are adventurous. Even a 7-year-old had the guts to try it. All right, so...
I didn't think it would taste that bad.
You didn't think it would taste that bad? It's actually, for once, it might be worse than it smells. I know people say that it's actually better than it smells. I disagree with that. I think it was worse than it smelled.
Yeah.
Don't forget to subscribe for more videos from the Go-To family from Taipei, Taiwan, and from around the world. And don't forget to
hit that like button.
Hit that like button, hit that bell. All right, we'll see you on the next one.